Hi, just by listening to my voice, can you tell who I am? Even better, what about my race or my ethnicity? You can't, right? Well, I'm actually Hmong. I go by the name Seaweed, real name Sivang. I'm a junior this year at the University of Wisconsin-River Falls with a digital film and television major and a minor in film. Every day is like a journey to me. I walk to school, from classes to classes, work to work, organizations to organizations. Don't even have time and sleep at 2 a.m. in the morning and then waking up at 7 for 8 o'clock classes. My life is very normal, or whatever, because most people's lives are not even normal, right? Whose life is considered normal anyways. I guess I never really thought about who I am or how others perceive me as before I came to college. Even better, a college where only 10% of the students here are considered a minority group. I never really thought about how important it is to be different. Have you ever heard of the Hmong people before? Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. It's absolutely understandable because the Hmong people have an absent history, so most of the people here in America are not aware of us. Well, you see, the Hmongs are considered a diasporic group of people who are geographically dispersed throughout the world. We don't have a homeland named Hmong on the world map, but rather we come from Thailand, Laos, China, a lot of other different places that I can't even name them all. My parents are from Laos. I, along with my other older siblings, are from Thailand. That doesn't mean we're Thai or Laotian though. We are still Hmong, a different culture group of people who just so happen to be sharing the same homeland as them. I come from a large family of 12, excluding my brother-in-law, sisters-in-law, niece, and nephews. If you count them too, then you're looking at a big family of 20. Big, huh? Well, it's normal in the Hmong culture to have such a large number of family members. It's just normal. I consider our family as immigrants in America, but to my parents and my grandparents, who are traditional, that very highly value our culture and culture traditions, they see our family as long-term refugees in America because they are forced out of their countries at an early age. I never really thought about my ethnicity before I came to college because I came from a hometown where the Hmong people are familiar to other cultures in the same areas, so we really never stood out. However, coming to college, I realized that I'm different. I got myself thinking, who am I and what am I really? Am I Hmong? Am I American? Am I both? Am I neither? When I'm outside of the state, I have to call myself American. But when I'm inside the States, I have to call myself Hmong. It's like the identity negotiation theory that emphasizes my own identity so that people will know who I am. Similar to the impression management theory in our intercultural communication course book, depending on where I am, I try to keep the impression of myself going and changing. I went to study abroad in Taiwan for 1 semester. When I was in Taiwan, I had to be labeled as American. But when I'm in America, I had to label myself as Hmong. When I'm in college, of course I have to label myself as American. But when I'm home, I have to be labeling myself as Hmong. Sometimes I wish I could just be one and not have to change all the time. I didn't know identity was so big and so important. Last summer, I went to volunteer in Bangkok, Thailand for a month. It was a very different culture indeed, and I had to label myself as American. When I was in Thailand teaching in the orphanage, many of the Thai girls fell in love with me because they thought I was a male. Makeup and clothes, everything I put on, they still think I was a male. Because the more I tried, the more I fell into their male category. That's just all how different the cultures really are. I guess that's life, when people ascribe you by the way how you look and start to label you. This also reminded me when I was in Thailand, when me and my friend went to Chiang Mai for elephant tour. Our guide assistants asked us on our paper to write down what ethnicity we were. I put down Hmong American, same as my friend. He came back later and pulled us aside and talked to us and said, who are we and why are we joking with him? We were not joking. We were very serious. We just so happened to put him Hmong American because that's who we are. But to him, he said either we have to be Hmong or we have to be American. We cannot be both. That's two different identities. And it really got me thinking, why? Why do I have to be one of them? Why can't I just be both? Because I am. I am Hmong and I am American. But to him, we were either American or we were either Hmong. He thought it was just a laughing joke that we were playing a prank on him. But to me, it was a serious thing. It's just so interesting how people describe us by the way how we look and starts labeling us.
Rapunzel, oh no, you're supposed to say it to me. Rapunzel, Rapunzel, pull up your hair.
In addition, when I was in Taiwan, I remember going shopping in the night market. My Taiwanese wasn't that good, so I had to use my English. Some of them understood English, so the people who understood English, I used English with them. I remember meeting up with this Taiwanese woman who was selling hats, and I was buying hats from her. She asked me, "Why is your English so good?" And I told her, "Well, I'm from America." And she was like, "Really? No, you're not, because you're not white." I thought, wow, really? So I asked her, "What is an ideal American land for you? What do you think of America?" And you know what she said? "America is just full of white people that are tall, blonde hair with blue eyes." I was like, wow, I think you really need to come to America because I hardly see that around no more. It's just really interesting how in some world they still think America is so white land.
Đó từ chiên ơi chiên chè đó từ cái kem lo mà chỗ nó thứ đó cho từ mà cho nó đi. Chị giờ vai mấy nào mà phải tru ít thịt lót xuống hư.
According to social psychologist Gert Hofstede's value orientation chart, Americans are considered to be low on uncertainty avoidance, which represents me a lot because I'm very free and I'm very independent. I am an individual who does things like other college students do. I speak English well, go to college, live in dorms, have 2 jobs, have a life, very independent. But one thing different is that I am Hmong with multi-language. When I speak with other Hmong people who are similar to me, such as my friends, I speak with multiple languages within a sentence to get my feelings across. Many ask me, and my friends, how can we do that? And if it confuses us? Well, my answer is, no, not really. It's actually quite fun. Being able to speak a lot of different languages and understand them is very unique. Actually, it makes our lives a lot easier because we can easily have a conversation fully expressing ourselves depending on the situation at that time. Somehow our minds chooses the easiest words in every language and we just use it. It's actually very convenient.
Oh my gosh, no. Yeah. Let me turn. What is going on my car?
So a typical daily conversation with me and my friends, as well as my siblings, will be full of Hmong, English, Korean, Japanese, Chinese, and Thai languages. Otherwise, sometimes we just talk gibberish. We still understand each other. But I don't think I qualify into the categories as a full Hmong either, because I've lost the true roots of a Hmong culture in me. I am too exposed to American life and does things that not normal Hmong people would normally do. I feed chickens, I water plants, I cook and clean. I do almost everything a Hmong female ideal girl would do, but yet I'm still not fully considered Hmong, according to my parents and my grandparents. I guess I'm considered a culture breaker, where I bounce between two cultures and not really sticking to one. Like I read in intercultural communications class textbook, I have a hybrid identity where I'm compromised with the both Western world and Hmong elements. So the question is, who am I? Am I Hmong or am I American? Or am I Hmong American? I don't know, but the only thing I know is I'm Seaweed, Si Vang, proud to be my parents' 5th children. Mommy and Daddy, good evening. Bye-bye.
Ya chỉ ship bố ha.
Thế rồi mẹ
Năm để đi chồng
No, no, no. No, các cơ. Mà còn nó phụ rồi nó.
không có gì vậy.
Please read your book. It's called Interculture in Context.